Glenn, let me bring you in here. Would you now say that India and Russia together are forming this new geometry altogether as far as global trade is concerned? That is what is the new order at the moment?
I would say so, and I think this is why the India-Russia partnership is so extremely important, because the big change in the world today, and I very much agree that this is a historic change. We're going away from this western-centric unipolar world order towards a multipolar, where many of the largest powers are now non-Western. Now, in a multipolar world, you're going to have some predictable developments. That is, everyone needs to diversify their ties, because the hegemon, which used to be confident and facilitate an open economic system, will now begin to use its administrative control over the international system to punish rivals, keep them down, demand geoeconomic loyalties from its subordinates. So it will become more aggressive. So this is not only about Trump, this is going to be the US going forward, that it's going to try to keep the Chinese down, Russians down, make the Indians obedient. And the second thing that happens is that that there's a risk that the world simply becomes bipolar. That is, it's organized around the US and China. So in this instance, you will see these two great powers seeking to create loyalties from the rest of the world. You see this now being done with the Europeans. The Americans demand that the Europeans, cut themselves off from Russia, China, Iran. They even want the Europeans to put sanctions on India. So, and this creates this excessive dependence only on the US. This is why Europe is now less prosperous and acting like political vassals of the United States. And ideally, the US would be able to put India in a similar position. So this is what happens in a multipolar world. Now, for countries like Russia, which was rejected or didn't get a place in Europe after the Cold War, it has, again, very correctly stated, attempted to pivot to Asia instead, become an Asian power, to reorganize its entire economy towards the East in terms of its industries, technological partnerships, transportation corridors, banks, currencies, everything. So this is why I think the India-Russia partnership is important, because it diversifies, it prevents excessive dependence on only the United States and China, which would more likely weaponize this.